as the holidays have come, the season has simultaneously brought wonderful things and feelings, and also made things a lot harder for all of us. I think that's best case scenario what the holidays do. They give us a time to feel good, to practice being better people just for a little while, and also everything gets more difficult. That's the way it's been here for me. Around Thanksgiving, I had family. My wife's some of my wife's family came in from out of town, and they brought their kids, and then we have our kids, and there's usually just a lot of activity going on, and also college ends for me this week, so that's why the past couple of weeks I've been out from Tiger Claw Radio, but one of the reasons why I wanted to have this discussion was because it's important to me to keep doing this. I've noticed that oftentimes when TCR goes off the air for a long period of time, it's because I'll mention I'm going to take a week off, and then I don't come back. So and also when I tried to come back this time, I found myself in this situation where I wanted to get on the air and start talking, and the longer I'm off the air, the harder it is to get back on. So coming back from a break is very difficult, and I don't know why that is, but it just is. Video game wise, it's been a difficult time also. I dropped my computer and broke it. I run off of a Dell laptop, and a Dell laptop from about maybe 4 or 5 years ago that has an integrated Intel HD graphics chipset. What that means is the integrated graphics are the lowest end of graphics that you can have. I don't have a dedicated video card. It's not dedicated, it's integrated, which means being generous, I'm running off being generous, I'm running off about 64 megabytes of video hardware. So that being the case, that computer was already very limited, but then I dropped it and the monitor went out. So in order to continue using my computer, I have to hook it up to a secondary monitor, and this machine was purchased specifically for its mobility to get me through college. It needed to have a battery life that lasted. It needed to be able to be taken to campus to write papers. So the fact that this computer's been crippled has been difficult. Now on the upside, my wife has been letting me use her slightly newer laptop over the past couple weeks, and I got to try Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which I absolutely fell in love with. I pre-ordered Global Offensive in 2012 when it came out. I was doing my internship that summer, which I had a blast doing. That was so much fun. And I pre-ordered it, and I don't think I can't put my money on this, but I don't think I ever pre-ordered a game for Steam before. I went through the whole bit where you could download it. You could pre-download it before it unlocked so that you could play it right away, which, by the way, was just bullshit because when they unlock it, the first thing they do is roll out a major patch. So you got to download it again anyway. So, but anyway, I pre-ordered it and I set it up, and it didn't work on this computer with the integrated graphics chipset. Even though it's just a Source Engine game, the Source Engine has been modified and it's enhanced. It's new. So the higher end Source games still, you got to have at least a little bit of graphics. Another great example is Contagion. Contagion is a zombie shooter with randomly generated levels that's also based on the Source Engine. That doesn't work for me. Last year it was $3.50 during the Steam sale. I picked it up and it didn't run for garbage. But it's okay because, computers come and go, and that'll be in my account when the time comes. So, one of the things that I was really anxious to discuss on the show that I probably, I'll go ahead and get out now, is the Thanksgiving sale. The Thanksgiving Steam sale was very different than previous years. In previous years, they've done flash sales. Every 8 hours, a sale would change. So you were constantly coming back to the machine, coming back to see what the sales were. They didn't have that this year. They just had, okay, these are the sales for the day, and they'll change tomorrow in the morning. For me, they change it at 1 o'clock because it's a California-based company, so because of the time difference. they change things at 10 in the morning for the day, but then for me it ends up being 1 o'clock, 'cause I'm on the East Coast. But anyway, they just had daily sales. However, this past year they've added so many games to Steam that the sheer amount of games that I found that I was really interested in was really high. I was able to get a lot of really cool stuff. I got like twice the amount that I got on the summer sale even. And the summer sale is supposed to be the biggest sale of the year. Now, I have a friend, you guys know Kaiser. Kaiser mentioned that they did, in fact, have 8-hour sales. They just did not put it on the main page. Because some things were on sale for big, and then they went off sale, like seemingly without reason. I can't vouch for any of that, but that is a thing. So just be warned as this winter sale approaches. Build your wish lists, ladies and gentlemen. If there's something you want, make sure you're watching it on a wish list. Because excuse me, I'm sorry, this is disgusting. The Steam sale, like the Steam main page, especially with all the changes Steam has undergone lately, is notorious for having issues and things happen. So that's a thing that has come and gone. See, is it done? At this particular moment, I just made a YouTube video. Wanted to work on my YouTube channel a little bit, but I have to wait for the file to produce. So I guess we'll talk and bang out a rough episode while the thing encodes. What was I talking about? Right, the sale. So what exactly did I get? I don't think I have Steam open to mull over the games. I don't want my computer to have to open another program to slow down the encoding process. But most of the stuff I got was old things. I mentioned in a previous episode I was excited about the release of Nom, the low-end build engine game, and I think the other game was called Enforcer, but something tells me that's not right. Anyway, I got those two, and I got the 11th Hour and the 7th Guest. I get the names of those two games mixed up, but I bought both of those as well as a bunch of other things. But what I've been playing lately is Nom. I played about a half hour to an hour of Nom, split up into several small sessions. And that is a weird game, guys. They made it clearly unfinished. Clearly a lot of like developer resources put into the game, stuff that was only supposed to be temporary. For example, the character that you play as, he has his own set of voice samples, but when he goes up to a wall and tries to open a door, you guys know the sound effect I'm talking about. In Doom, it's sort of an oomph. And, well, the Duke Nukem oomph is still in the game. He has his own sample, except when you try to open a door, it's Duke's voice. No pop filters used for any of the of the voice actors. So, very much like, I don't know, lower quality than this podcast. I'll tell you that much. So, I kind of get the impression there are things that they intended to hit the studio and generate better assets for and just ran out of time. On the upside, for a build engine game, you know, when compared to Shadow Warrior and like Duke Nukem 3D, there are a few things that like weren't around or were actually pretty innovative. Like there's Ally, like a medic and other guys you can go up to and press a button and they will follow you. Now the AI is garbage; they don't really help, but the idea of AI teammates, even on a basic level, is pretty cool. They put that in there. What else did they add? The game takes place in Vietnam, so the level design, what they do is they have like a little arena, and then on one end is supposed to be the jungle, and the jungle looks really crappy, but they've added a few build engine trees, and then the NVC, the Viet Cong that you're fighting, they just kind of slowly pour out of the jungle and never stop, which is, I think, it creates a neat effect. So it's a cool game. It's got some really rough edges. Like the body armor that you pick up is clearly just the body armor from Duke Nukem 3D. But I don't know. You have to be able to see through some things in order to enjoy it. But that's Nom. Nom is available regular price for $5.99, $6. Yeah, on Steam. And over the sale, I got it for $3.50. I'm sure when come the winter sale, it'll be on sale again for $3.50. So if you feel like checking it out, if you're brave enough, although I would advise that you first get Duke Nukem 3D and Shadow Warrior. If you don't have those two, get those two first. They're both build engine games. They both play a hell of a lot better than Nom. And if you don't have any money, you can get Shadow Warrior Classic for free still on Steam. It won't pop up in the store unless you search for it. It's Shadow Warrior Classic. They gave it away. If you recall, when Shadow Warrior was first coming out on Steam, they were trying to do a Facebook giveaway of the original game to just give away a few copies, but it was exploited and millions of copies went out, so they said, fuck it, we're going to make it free. So they have this free original version, and then they have the redo version. The original version still plays very well, and is free, and it has the level builder, and I love it to death. So that is an amazing game. Nom is a funny little game that I kind of like. Shadow Warrior is a legitimate, really good game. So I just want to make that distinction before you spend any of your precious time on something that you might regret. How are we doing? We're at 73. I made a video about Spectre. Spectre was an MS-DOS Battlezone clone back in the day. I've made some MS-DOS videos a month or two ago, and they were mostly, well, they were all console games, classic console games, mostly Nintendo, that also had PC counterparts. So given that, I had those up there, I wanted to do some classic DOS games that I really enjoyed. That were maybe a little bit less, I don't want to say under the radar, but not as well known to the modern gamer. A lot of console gamers today know what the Space Quest games were, the King's Quest games, because those are really popular. But some of the lesser known games that you had to be a gamer from that day to know about, I would like to feature. So this was the first. I think I might do Arcade Volleyball next, because even though Arcade Volleyball was like an incredibly silly and really dumb game that today I make fun of with my friends, it was still a game I played and enjoyed when I was playing DOS games actively. I want to do Arcade Volleyball. I want to do Sim Ant as well. Several months ago, I was on the Retro Rejects, and they had a podcast, and they had a 20 questions where I had to try and guess the game, and it was Sim Ant was the game. And I had a really hard time with it, but I eventually got it, I think in 18 questions or so. 18 questions plus 3 hints, a hint every 5 questions. And after that, I said, I can't remember if I said this on the air or off the air, but I said, hey, I'll do a review of Sim Ant, and we will have a little crossover. Well, I never did the video. So I loaded up Sim Ant a couple weeks back, and I started kicking through the tutorial a little bit to try and figure it out. This is something that really bothers me when people do. When it comes to videos, a lot of times you'll hear like a Let's Player say, oh, I've never played this before, I'm going into it blind. Okay, I understand that sometimes that's the case in terms of production. Sometimes you just have to dive in, that's the only way it's going to get made. But the thing is, when you say that, it's not like something to put on the resume. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a cool feature of the video. We're going to learn it together. No, if you're playing a strategy game, that means we're going to fumble around and I'm not going to see anything interesting. Okay? Do you know how people don't like tutorials? You know how that's generally the case where when people play a game, they like to get to the tutorial as quick as possible? You don't want your Let's Play to feel like that. If I'm going to watch a Let's Play of a strategy game, I want the guy who's making the video to be knowledgeable and to guide me through it as best he can, right? Make me understand the game. That's how you make a good video about a strategy game. Okay, so if you're going in blind, and once again, I know sometimes that's just how you have to do it to make videos, then, I don't know, be ashamed about it or something. Jeez, it's something I hear an awful lot of Let's Players say, and I don't understand why they say it. Like, I don't understand why everybody thinks that's okay. Like, you should make an effort for that to not be the case. And then when it's the case, it should be like, oh, I don't do it often, but this is how we're gonna do it this one time. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just I've been watching a lot of Let's Plays lately. That's been my entertainment mode affair. So that's my comments on it. Um, as wow, I made it 15 minutes. This is like I meant to just make this a couple minute discussion, but I actually had some things to say. Um, when we left off on Tiger Claw Radio, I had some really, really good comments, and I got a couple of letters from my good friend Hemrock. I can't remember if I read those in the last episode or not, but all of those will be read. I'm not counting this as an episode of TCR. This will not be numbered, even though I talked about a few things that I wanted to talk about. But because it's so short, and because I've kind of bucked all the formatting, um, uh, once again, the purpose of this is just to make sure that TCR stays alive. I have to keep talking. I have to keep making MP3s in order to make sure that the podcast doesn't go down the drain. As a matter of fact, in January, we will be 6 years old, and I'll be starting my 7th year on the air. So when I think of Tiger Claw Radio versus my video game playing habits, I think this is the best way to describe what this podcast is. If I decided that I didn't want to play video games anymore forever, Tiger Claw Radio would still be around. I would change the format. It would be about something else, but I want to make sure this stays open. So whoever you are, whatever you're doing, however you came across this MP3, I hope you're having a good holiday. I hope your Thanksgiving went well, and as Christmas comes up, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Alright, let's check out some. And it sounds like I'm wrapping this up just in time because the video I was making just finished encoding, and the audio just kind of cut me off in my earphones. But anyway, I'm not going to ask for donations because, let's be honest, I wouldn't donate to this show at this point. But once again, have a great holiday, and I hope your life is wonderful. I'll see you guys as soon as I can. I'm getting everything together to get back on the air regularly as soon as I can. Okay? So, Merry Christmas, guys.